What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.
Opinionated, outspoken, informative. The Jaguar Journal. Your source for the latest information on Southern University sports and SWAC athletics. A Baton Rouge sports talk tradition.
All right, everybody. Good morning. It is the Jaguar Journal. I'm Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us this morning. Everybody listening on Talk 107.3 FM and everybody across our Facebook and YouTube channels. Glad to have you guys with us. Excuse my tardiness this morning. Had a game last night. You guys know I'm a football official. A little late. It was out of town. I got home, man, and couldn't quite get to bed. As much as you think you are sleepy until you get into bed and find out how hard it is to actually get to sleeping. Before I knew it, man, it was this time this morning, so it was time to rock and roll with you guys. So if you bear with me, let me get my bearings together. We're going to take a break real quick, and we come back, we're going to get this show rocking and rolling. So you guys stay tuned. More of the Jaguar Journal.
Quincy Richard is the quarterback. And, Don, this is a man who's really changed his game from last season, and he's a graduate student as well.
Yes, he has, Bob. Quincy Richard has matured into the unquestioned leader of this Southern University offensive attack. 10 wins this season, and he set school marks for passing yards and touchdown passes. And Bobby's had a lot of help. Only 5 sacks on the season.
He earned his undergraduate degree back in August. He's taking some master's classes, and he wants to be a lawyer.
Here's Richard looking in the end zone. Has a man there. Touchdown, Southern University.
Play clock down to 3. Richard gets it off over the middle. Touchdown!
Holmes goes in motion and comes set on a 1st and 10. Richard completes it. That's Ard. Ard down the sideline. He could go. And finally pushed out of bounds. Richard's run for 10 touchdowns this season. He's going to keep it. Richard goes in. Make it 11 for Quincy Richard. Richard wide open. Touchdown, Chris Davis. Oh, does he love playing football even more now?
That in the flag against Grambling, holding on the kickoff.
Richard looking deep, and it's a touchdown.
But only 3 times did he go down. Twice he ran out of bounds behind the last scrimmage. It goes down as a sack.
2nd and 8, the deep ball, and that's our man, Chris Davis, for the touchdown. Time for today's State Farm Players of the Game. And from Southern University, the quarterback, number 15, Quincy Richard, 34 of 42, 552 yards, 5 touchdown passes.
Quincy, on behalf of State Farm Insurance Companies, I want to present you with a trophy for the most outstanding player today. Congratulations.
All right, everybody. Good morning. It is the Jaguar Journal. I'm Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us. Everybody listening on Talk 107.3 FM across the Baton Rouge capital city area, and everybody that is watching on our YouTube and our Facebook channel. Mike, I'm feeling generous today, Mike. I think I'm going to give away some tickets today to the Jackson State Southern game next week. You know, because of my tardiness this morning, I'll give away some tickets. So if you give us a call, 225-499-1073, you got the next 10 minutes to give me a call. And if you give me a call, I'll give you some tickets and you'll be headed to the Jackson State Southern game next week. And for everybody else, this show, we're going to recap in the first hour, week 0 through week 4 of the SWAC play. Teams across the conference. Hey, Mike, teams across the conference, as well as on the backside of the show, we're going to be talking to campus police. We're going to be talking to Dr. Kedrick Taylor. We're going to be talking to Rodney Kirshner. Everything we're going to be talking about is going into next week's game against Jackson State. It is a lot of information for you guys to have and be aware of. Who we got on the line? All right, let's go to the phone lines. Good morning, Joe. How you doing?
Hello.
Joe, you there?
I'm here, man. What's going on?
Man, nothing much. What's going on? You trying to go to the Jackson State Southern game next week?
You know I am.
All right, Joe, man. Where you calling from?
Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge. Joe, you going to the Southern versus Jackson State game next week. I'm going to hook you up. Stay on the line. I'm going to get you all, but stay on the line, and we're going to get you information now, and then I'll tell you how to pick it up, okay?
Thank you. Okay.
All right, appreciate you, Joe. Let's go to another caller. They wrote they want to go to the Jackson State Southern game next week, and I'm going to hook you up, all right? So if you call in 225-499-1073, I'm going to make sure that you go to the Jackson State Southern game courtesy of Perry White. Who we got on the line? Miss Kenya. All right, Miss Kenya, good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good.
I need some more energy than that. If you going to the Jackson State Southern game, don't talk to me with that low energy. I need high energy. Good morning, Miss Kenya.
Good morning.
That's what I'm talking about. You know, I try to tell people it's hard to bring that energy at 7 a.m. So if y'all don't want it from me, I don't want it from y'all. I need some good energy. Miss Kenya, you want to go to the game next week?
I do.
Where you calling from, Miss Kenya?
I'm calling from Lafayette, Louisiana.
All right. Well, Miss Kenya, you can make that drive right over to Baton Rouge next week, and you will be headed to the Southern Jackson State game. Stay on the line. Mike is going to have you on the line, and then we're going to get you information, and I'll tell you how you can pick them up, okay?
All right.
All right. Look, Joe and Miss Kenya headed to the Southern Jackson State game next week, making sure we get them straight. And for everybody else out there, Mike, let's do this. Let's take a quick break. Let's take care of them, and then when I come back on the other side, I'm going to break down week 0 through 4 of the SWAC play, not conference play, but just teams throughout the conference. So you guys stay tuned. We'll be back more to Jaguar Journal. It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White, and what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe
to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
T.R. Ricks is a fifth-year senior who's getting his first chance to drive the train that Bob talked about. And right now, he's driving it quite well because the Southern Jaguars are kicking butt in the SWAC conference. As Bob mentioned, 6-0 overall in the SWAC, and T.R. Ricks has played so well, over 2,000 yards passing. In the last 3 games running the football, he's been over 100 yards on the ground. The respect factor that he gets from his teammates is incredible. As a fifth-year senior who's never started, they elected him captain. And the numbers he has put up are represented on your screen. 27 total touchdowns on the offense, a pass percentage of nearly 60%. He could be the SWAC Player of the Year on the offensive side.
Best, and they're going to get a huge dose of the best offensive player in the SWAC, and that being Thomas Ricks.
Yeah, what Thomas Ricks has found a way to do is just beat defenses either with his arm, with his feet, or with his leadership capabilities, finding a way to win the games late with fourth-quarter comebacks. He showed versatility and athleticism. He's a tremendous athlete that knows how to win, most importantly.
Really is a leader both on and off the field.
I just think it has come to a maturity level. I have a 4-year-old son, and, when he was born, I had to grow up fast, and, just staying in school and practicing every day, trying to get better every day, just so he can have a better future. It's just been my inspiration. So, I just think that's my motor that drives me and, keeps me in the game.
His 4-year-old son, Collier, has not missed a game this season. They throw the football around in Rick's dorm room at Southern, and he says it's great playing football with Collier. 1st and 10. Ricks. He's got Vernon. Vernon makes the catch at the 45.
They can run the entire offense with all those guys in the game.
Ricks to Vernon. 1st down. Holmes in the backfield. Ricks. 1st down. Gage on the tackle, but not until Ricks picks up the 1st down. 2nd and 7. Ricks. Overstreet's got it. Across midfield. Ricks. As a receiver downfield. It's caught for a touchdown. Territory. Ricks. Fakes the pitch. Gets inside the 15.
He's in the type of young men that represent his philosophy in life and in football.
Ricks in a shotgun. He's going to run it out to the 10. And 2nd and 11 after the holding penalty. Sidearm toss. And a nice catch. Ricks on the 1st and 10. Little draw play. Takes it outside. He's got the 1st down.
But Ricks going to take it up the middle. On 2nd and goal and score the touchdown. If horizon, it'll get cloudy again. And under the sun, Ricks on 2nd down and goal holds on to it for a 2nd touchdown run.
Get open and make play. So that's good ball distribution. That's also passing. They're going for some more, G.
And they do get it. Touchdown, Southern. 3rd and 22 to come. Ricks. Pretty ball. 1st down. Back like you said, Jay, after the penalty. The blitz. Ricks got hit. Got rid of it. Touchdown, Southern. The 6th annual SWAC championship. Southern trailing by 5. Passes complete over the middle to Amelie Jackson. Remember, it was 4th and 24, and they gave up the 1st. Over the middle. Wide open receiver again. 1st and 10.
Quincy Richard is the quarterback. And Don, this is a man who's really changed his game from last season, and he's a graduate student as well.
Yes, he has, Bob. Quincy Richard has matured into the unquestioned leader of this Southern University offensive attack. 10 wins this season, and he set school marks for passing yards and touchdown passes. And Bobby's had a lot of help. Only 5 sacks on the season.
He earned his
All right, everybody, we're back. It is the Jaguar Journal. I am Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us. Everybody, good morning. That's listening on Talk 107.3 FM around the Baton Rouge capital city area, and everybody out there watching on our Facebook and YouTube channel. Be sure to keep up with us across all social media. We're on TikTok. We're on Facebook. We're on X. We're on Instagram, and guess what? Hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel as well as Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Anywhere you think you can find us, you can. You just got to go hit the button, type in the Jaguar Journal, and boom, we are there. Congratulations to our ticket winners. I had to handle that and make sure that they got all the information of what they needed to do to come pick up the ticket. Can't tell it on the air. Then all of y'all will be down here trying to claim their prize. So I can't let that happen. But good morning to everybody that's out there. Good morning to my man Mike right here behind the board. He's holding it down, making sure we get everything rocking and rolling. And good morning to everybody out there. As we get today's show rolling, I already told you in the second hour, we're going to be talking about everything you need to know for next week's big game for Southern and Jackson State. Corporal Baldwin is going to join us here on the show from the Southern University Police Department. He's going to talk to you about what you can and cannot do on campus because there are rules and regulations that you guys have to follow. And then we're going to have Rodney Kirshner to come on and talk to you about parking, tickets, whatever all that you need to know. So next week you won't say there was a surprise. And then we're going to have Dr. Kedrick Taylor, Director of Bands at Southern University, also going to join us because not only will we have the game that Saturday, we're going to have the big battle of the bands, Southern versus Jackson State, on Friday night at A.W. Mumford Stadium. So he's going to tell you how to get your tickets and everything that's going to go into that. That's going to support a cause for both bands. And, of course, being right here in Baton Rouge, we got to make that home field advantage feel for Southern's Human Jukebox. So you're going to get all of that information. But right now, let's look back at the season as we are at a bye week. And if you look across the SWAC right now, there are plenty of teams at home resting this weekend after the first 4 weeks of the season have rolled on. And then with Southern, we started in week 0. Of course, Southern playing on national television in the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge, taking on North Carolina Central. This was the first game of the conference of any conference team this year representing the SWAC, and Southern took on North Carolina Central. 31-14 was the final score. As we looked in that, Southern with 2 explosive plays in that game, one by Trey Holly, the other one by Cameron McCoy from the line of scrimmage. Other than that, pretty tough day for the offense getting up and down the field. North Carolina Central and their running back Chris Mosley pretty much had a way with it, and Trey Oliver and his team rolled on. Then we moved on to Thursday. That Thursday, Northwestern State. How about Northwestern State? Did y'all remember that? I talked about that here on the show. They stormed the field. They got their first victory in over 1,000-plus days over guess who? Alcorn State, 20-10. Alcorn in this one could not find any offense. They had a pick 6 in this game, but that was pretty much it aside from a field goal, and Northwestern State got the victory. Northwestern State 1-0 in the SWAC West, if y'all want to put it that way. And then the game that caught my attention that really has me paying attention to Alabama State was Alabama State's Thursday night back-and-forth game with UAB, University of Alabama, Birmingham. Trent Dilford, of course, is the head coach there. And now we got a chance to see Andrew Body in where the position we thought he should be in. The leader of this team last year in game 1, he got hurt against North Carolina Central down in the Orange Blossom Classic in Miami this year. It was a shootout going back and forth, and I've told people in this league, when you find a quarterback, you most likely will find a champion. And right now there are a few teams that with a quarterback, as we continue to talk about them, Alabama State is one of them. This is a team with a quarterback in Andrew Body and weapons around him that looks good. And they went back and forth with FBS UAB. 52-42 was the final score. Another game that happened that was not so much back and forth, but really lopsided. Florida International took on Bethune-Cookman. This was a Friday game on August the 29th. 42-9 was the final in that one. Arkansas, the Razorbacks, I say, do y'all got a favorite Confederate team? I got one, but let me tell you, it is tough to be a Razorback fan these days, but they got the victory over Alabama. And don't shake your head, Mike. What are you nodding for? I know what it is. My heart hurts every week. And it's like right when you think you got a victory, they yank it from under you. I don't care if it's baseball, basketball, football. If I just say, let's go run barefoot in the street, or we just flip quarters, they find a way to lose. But I move on from that. I save that hurt for another show. Prairie View and Texas Southern, the Labor Day Classic over in Houston. A back-and-forth game it was. Prairie View comes back and win this game on the last play of the game with no time remaining to get a 22-21 victory over Texas Southern. How about Pine Bluff? My mom's alma mater, UAPB, went on the road to take on number 23 Texas Tech. 67-7 was the final in that one. Jackson State hosting Hampton, a team from the CAA, a HBCU, no longer a part of the Black College realm of conferences. Hampton goes on the road to go up to Jackson, Mississippi. Jackson State holds on. This game was tight early on, but Jackson State did what they needed to do to pull away. 28-14 was the final in that one. How about this one? Howard and Florida A&M, a rematch of the Celebration Bowl for the Black College National Championship from 2 years ago. Down in the Orange Blossom Classic this year in Miami, Florida, and it comes down to a field goal to win the game, as I didn't see this one coming, but Howard wins. 10-9 was the final score. And then we move on as we continue to talk about Grambling versus Langston. How about Grambling and Langston? Grambling wins the game 55-7, and then we saw Southern go on the road to take on Mississippi Valley up in Itta Bena. How about Southern? 34-29 in that ball game. And then we had UT Rio Grande taking on Prairie View. This goes into week 2. Rio Grande gets the victory, 27-21. Prairie View just didn't have enough time in that ball game. That's one of those situations where they say, we just ran out of time. Prairie View gets the loss in this one. Okay. Now this one, Ohio State, Grambling State. I'll just say Grambling's band did what they were supposed to do. 70-0 the final in that one is Ohio State, the number 1 team in the land, all right? Miami taking on Bethune-Cookman 45-3. Miami is the team on the FBS side I'm telling you to watch out for. I believe in today's game, they have 15 of the top wide receivers in the nation that'll be on their campus today for a recruiting visit. That just lets you know where that program is headed in terms of the Hurricanes. How about Jackson State going on the road to Hattiesburg, Mississippi to take on Southern Miss? This was a game I believe a lot of Jackson State fans felt that they had and that this could be a possible win. But as Lee Corso says, not so fast, my friend. 38-20 was the final score in this one as Southern Miss all over Jackson State with an 18-point victory. How about Texas Southern going out to the West Coast to take on the California Bears? 35-3 final score in that. Florida International take on Florida A&M. 56-14 was the final score in this one. Tarleton State taking on Mississippi Valley. And I want you guys to really go look at Tarleton State. Are you talking about on the FCS level? And I also want you to go take a look at UT Rio Grande. Look at these two programs who are now within UT Rio Grande. This is their first year having Division I football. And then go look at Tarleton State. They've been around for a few years, but look at the investment into those programs. And I say that because if anybody out there represents your SWAC school, and for us right here in Baton Rouge of Southern, I just want you to go see what an investment looks like into a program and with your money. I just want you to see. Go look up those programs, all right? Tarleton State, 59, Mississippi Valley State, 3. Really has me looking at Southern different from struggling with this team as Tarleton State was all over them. How about this one? Alabama A&M and Alcorn State. Alabama A&M defeats Alcorn State for the first time since 2011. Sam Shade has that program headed in the right direction. 41-31 was the final score in this one as Alabama A&M got the victory. Then we saw the game here in Baton Rouge for first home game of the season for Southern. 30-7. Once again, Alabama State. I told you guys I picked against Southern that game. Alabama State in the second half wore Southern down. They were able to get the victory 30-7. And then up in Arkansas, you had the battle of the only 2 FCS ball clubs in the state of Arkansas. How about the Central Arkansas Bears taking on the Golden Lions of UAPB? UAPB jumped out early in this one, but on the next 5 drives for UCA, they scored touchdowns. Final score 41-17 in that ball game. Then we move to week 3. Rice taking on Prairie View, 2 teams right there out of the Houston area. Rice holds on. And if you check out Rice, they are pretty nice this year. They're 3-1 right now in the season. 2-1. And Rice got the victory 38-17 over Prairie View. Prairie View fought hard. Jackson State did what they had to do against SIAC Tuskegee. 30-0 was the final score in that one. How about this one? Alabama A&M is a team, and you're going to see in my top 5 if you're watching on YouTube. Alabama A&M is a team that I think you have to keep an eye on. And they're one of those teams I'm telling you about with the quarterback. Alabama State with Andrew Body. Alabama A&M with Cornelius Brown. I think he's the guy that you need to pay attention to. He can throw the ball very well, and he's smooth as a dual-threat quarterback to be able to run. If you're looking at Alabama A&M starting no further than their quarterback, Cornelius Brown, he is the reason Alabama A&M is in a position at the end now. They got the victory 23-21 over Tennessee State last week. How about Alabama State with Andrew Body, the next team? They continued to roll 37-9 last week over Miles. Alcorn it keeps getting worse for them. They had to go take on Mississippi State out of the SEC last week, 63-0. Boy, oh boy. How about UAPB getting their first victory of the season, 34-8 over Lincoln out of California? South Carolina State and Bethune-Cookman in a shootout back and forth. 55-41 was the final score. South Carolina State survived and advanced, but Bethune-Cookman gave them everything they can want. But Chennis Berry in that program continues to find a way. And if you're looking for a quarterback out of the MEAC, look no further than Ryan Stubblefield from South Carolina State. He was the backup last year behind Eric Phoenix. This year, starting off the season in game one, it looked like maybe he was going to be the number 2 guy, but he has since stepped up, and he can play some football from the quarterback position. Ryan Stubblefield, South Carolina State, Chennis Berry get the victory 55-41. Did you guys hear about what happened in North Louisiana last week? Grambling taking on Kentucky State. This game goes into overtime. Grambling does everything they can do to get back into this one in the fourth quarter. And we talk about officials. You guys know I'm a football official. I kind of hold off these days of being critical. But, man, was that a tough one. In overtime, Grambling on defense, Kentucky State on offense. The Kentucky State receiver goes up the field with the ball, and this is what the controversy, if you circle a moment in the game, loses his forward progress. The officials do not blow it dead. Grambling strips the ball away, goes the opposite way for a touchdown, and wins it in overtime. Now, this has been controversial all week because everybody has said that whistle should have been blown the moment that football player from Kentucky State lost his forward progress. And I would have to agree, from an official, when that player loses forward progress, blow that whistle, kill it, crash in, right in, let everybody know with a big signal that that play is dead. That did not happen. And that when Grambling stole them one against Kentucky State. How about Southeastern taking on Mississippi Valley State? Southeastern right up the road over in Hammond. Once again, I'm looking at Southern a little bit different. For a second consecutive week, another FCS opponent handled Mississippi Valley very well. This time it was Southeastern 56-3 over Mississippi Valley. Then you look at Lamar taking on Texas Southern. Lamar, of course, a top 25 FCS program right over there in Beaumont, Texas. 31-7 was the final in that one as Lamar defeats Texas Southern. Florida A&M in a close one against Albany State, 33-25. And then I will catch you up with Southern University going out to the West Coast playing Fresno State. 56-7 in the final in this one. Let me give you some stats because this was the first game of Fred McNair taking over as the offensive play caller for Southern, as Mark Frederick has since been removed from the play calling, but he's still co-offensive coordinator for Southern University. In this one, Southern with only 7 first downs in this ball game. The Jaguars 3 of 12 on third down. On the other side for Fresno State, they had 31 first downs in this one. They were 8 of 10 on third down. Southern only able to get 142 total yards of offense, 131 in the air. How about this one? Only 11 yards on the ground. On the other side for Fresno State, 507 total yards of offense, 282 yards passing, 225 yards on the ground, 1 turnover in this ball game by way of a fumble. Anybody who watched this game, you saw Cameron McCoy start off, and it looked rough for Cameron McCoy. And at this point, I have to say, Cameron McCoy from the quarterback position, to me, is not the guy for Southern University. He just does not seem comfortable getting the ball off and being able to make those short intermediate passes. I believe he has one of the, throwing that deep ball. It looks beautiful if it can ever connect with the receivers down the field. He has a beautiful deep ball, and we know what he can do with his legs, but there's only so much that you can do in the game, especially when it's not putting up points. But then we saw Ashton Strother come in, 9 of 14, the third-string quarterback, for 127 yards, no touchdowns thrown in this one. Jason Gabriel and Trey Holly both were right there. Gabriel with 9 carries and 13 yards. Trey Holly, 7 carries and 11 yards. Trey Holly was Southern's only touchdown in the game as he rushed for 1 yard. Rushed for 1 touchdown. But looking at this backup quarterback, right, gave me hope. He looked like a guy. early on before it kind of faded off, but there was that one drive to get down for the touchdown where he looked like he commanded that offense. He made the short intermediate throws that needed to keep this offense going, where it didn't have to rely so much on the run game and the deep ball. If you get those receivers the ball in space, allow them to make the plays. And for him, he was able to do that in that first possession. But I think, for me, Fresno quickly made the adjustments to realize, all right, this is what we're dealing with here. And that was the difference maker right there. But if you want some hope, I think he gives us hope. Now, remind you, this guy shows up 2 weeks before the first game, and now he has an opportunity to maybe be the starter coming into next week. Don't know. I got to shrug my shoulders because I don't know really where we're going to go with it. I know I can say with Fred McNair, and I don't know if it was from just the quarterback or just the play calling, but I know for sure, for me, the quarterback made a world of a difference. When you can complete those short intermediate routes to extend plays, and I did not see inside zone 35 times. I'm okay with that too. But I think this team still has a long way to go. I am not impressed right now with Southern's offense. And if you out there, you probably not either. 7 points against Fresno State, 7 points against Alabama State, and 14 points against North Carolina Central. You know how many points that is total? That's 28 points going through 4 games of the season between those 3 teams. Now I'm looking at Mississippi Valley, and everybody is 50-piece in Mississippi Valley. I know it's about matchups. That's how I think when I look back at it. Southern fans, the way I've seen Tarleton State and Southeastern easily handle Mississippi Valley, that is what us Southern fans expected from Southern on how to handle Mississippi Valley. Not a back and forth shootout. Not a game that literally came down to a 4th and 1 for Southern to get a first down to seal the deal. No, not at all. Not a game with multiple turnovers where you allow Valley to stay in the game. No, not at all. It was to go in there and handle that game soundly the way I've seen Tarleton State and Southeastern do it. And it just really proves to show Valley isn't a great team. And if it puts Southern up against it too, Southern right now really isn't a great team. And that's just the honesty to it. And I'm looking at, I cannot be deceived by what my eyes show me. I can be deceived by what somebody tell me, but I know what my eyes see. So Southern has this bye week, a lot of improvement, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, Southern's given up a lot of points this year. Giving up a lot of points this year. Now, I know we can equate a lot of that to the stalling of the offense and keeping the defense on the field, and the defense just seems to break down and not be able to make the tackles in open field, one-on-one space, man-to-man. Tackling has been something that seems to have gone backwards for Southern this year. They had a tough time tackling receivers, running backs, whoever from the opposing team. But I got to get ready to take a break. We'll come back. You guys stay tuned. We'll be back. More of the Jaguar Journal.
All right, peace on you.
All right. Hey, did nothing change in my top 5 this week, everybody. North Carolina Central is number 5. Listen, they're 2-2 on the season, but they got a victory in a big way. What a way to get back on track with North Carolina Central. I think Trey Oliver is doing what he does best. This is not just a football team. It is a football program. And I think he has this football program ready to head in the right direction as they continue to go through non-conference and get to conference play a little bit later next month. Coming in at number 4, let's go Alabama A&M. I had them at number 4 last week. They remain in the spot. You know why? They beat Tennessee State. They are in a position that I haven't seen them be in a long time, and that's the winning position. They're on the winning side of things. And I think Sam Shade, along with his quarterback Cornelius Brown, are looking like a legit contender in the SWAC right now. So I have them at number 4. Let's go Alabama State, number 3, remaining, holding on to that spot. They got past Miles in a convincing fashion. Andrew Body has done everything he needed to do to remain consistent. Eddie Robinson has this team headed in the right direction. This is probably what he wanted last year, but now he has it this year, and you see why adding Andrew Body makes this offense and this team a contender in the SWAC. Let's go number 2, South Carolina State. Kenneth Berry had a shootout against Bethune-Cookman, but nonetheless, they were able to hold on Once again, the same way like I'm talking about North Carolina Central, Tennis Berry looks to be building a program at South Carolina State and not just having a team year in and year out. And right now, they're still looking like a team to beat in black college football, and I would give them the number 2 spot and the number 1 team in all of black college football, still holding on after a convincing win. Goose Egg, Tuskegee this past weekend, Jackson State. I think Ahmad Miller, I think when you look at Jacoby and Morgan, I think when you look at this team as a whole, offense, defense, and special teams, they play the best 3 phases of the game better than anybody right now in the country, in my opinion. And so right now, they're my number 1 team. I think TC Taylor has built something, and it looks sustainable right now. And that's why I have them at number 1. So coming in number 5, North Carolina Central. Number 4, Alabama A&M. Number 3, Alabama State. Number 2, South Carolina State. And number 1, Jackson State.
All righty.
The Southern University watching down the city of America's finest. So sit back, relax, for you about to start the most exciting time of your life. The Dazzling, the House Rocker, the Rocker, how we go, but all people take us on, alright? Could you watch him now, be down to jump out there, sound, and do what you want.
Good morning, everybody. It is the Jaguar Journal. I am back because I'm Perry White. If you didn't know, Perry, you know what the color white is. Good morning to everybody out there on Talk 107.3 FM, man. Good to have you guys in the Baton Rouge capital city area and everybody out there watching on our Facebook and YouTube channel. Glad to have you guys with us as we look at week 4. A bye week for a lot of teams, including Southern and Jackson State, who will be playing next week for the Boombox Classic right here in Baton Rouge. But this week, you got Northwestern State going on the road to take on Prairie View. And guess what? Northwestern State is 1-0 in the SWAC West. Prairie View is 1-0 in the SWAC West. Prairie View got a victory over Texas Southern. Northwestern State got a victory over Alcorn. Let's see who's going to go 2-0 in the SWAC West after this matchup today. Edward Waters, who is 3-0 right now. Brian Jenkins' interim tag has been taken off. Of course, Eric Dooley is over there serving as the offensive coordinator. They're taking on Bethune-Cookman today. I'm telling you, if Bethune-Cookman loses this game, I'll talk about it next week. How about that? Alabama A&M, who right now looks really good under Sam Shea, taking on Lane today. And then Grambling versus East Texas A&M. That should be an interesting game. I'm not sure. I went East Texas A&M in that game. And I also went Northwestern State over Prairie View. But I'm not sure really how that's going to go. When I see SWAC and non-conference against other FCS programs, I get nervous, okay? I break out in cold sweats and say, oh, man, we playing somebody, not a Division II, not an NAIA, and not an HBCU. I just break out and sweat. At this point, I'm like, I don't think we're going to do good in that. So I don't think Grambling going to beat East Texas A&M. Prove me wrong. And I don't think Prairie View is going to beat Northwestern State. Prove me wrong. But that Northwestern State and Prairie View game, that is a battle hunt in the SWAC West, as both teams are 1-0. In the SWAC West. Going back to Southern, of course, as we are in this bye week, Fred McNair is now taking over play calling for Southern's offense. Another area that I have to say is concern for me that I have not seen play well this year for Southern is special teams. We're talking about the missed field goals. We're talking about the bad punting. We're talking about bad field placement in terms of on the return game. Special teams has not looked very good for me. And then when I go across the field for next week and I look at Jackson State, this is a team that I continue to tell everybody that plays 3 phases of the game, to me right now, better than any team in the conference. That is offense, defense, and special teams. Jackson State does that very well. For Southern has spurts here and there. I see a flash of a little offense. I see a flash of a little defense. I haven't seen any flash in special teams. Southern has a long way to go to be championship caliber. I think right now, as I use the term all the time, SWAC good. And come on, people, y'all know it's SWAC good. You know what it takes to win a Black College National Championship. You know how good of a football program you have to be to go up and contend against the MEAC. And not only against the MEAC, across FCS. And that's one of the things I've talked about with this program, being better than SWAC good, being FCS top 25 good. That's what you see out of Jackson State in this conference, and that's what you're going to have next week coming into Baton Rouge, an FCS top 25 program, a defending Black College National Championship team will be here in Baton Rouge. Southern is going to have to really put themselves to work this past week and coming into this week to be able to prepare for that game, because what we saw against Alabama State, great game plan by the defense with Henry Miller being able to apply pressure to Andrew Body, force him to be uneasy in the pocket, and the pressure did get to him. Plays did break down. But eventually what we saw in the second half, they chipped away. Bad tackling, being in bad position. Those are the things that ultimately hurt us. And Bama State took advantage of it. And ultimately you saw them spread the score. And not only that, our inability to be able to move the ball. I'm going to tell you, we looked so bad in the fourth quarter, especially at some point it was just like Cameron McCoy is just running any chance he get just to get us something. It looked really bad. And in my opinion, Cameron McCoy has to go somewhere else on the field. I think he is too good of an athlete to be on the sideline. But we have to find ways to give him the ball other than him taking every snap. I just don't think he can handle from the quarterback position being able to continue drives. And for me, it is these short intermediate routes. It is the routes that we saw against Fresno on that one drive that can sustain and keep the offense on the field and keep those drives going. Cameron McCoy just does not seem to be the quarterback for that. Now, we're looking for the explosive play down the field. He's shown that he can throw the ball deep, but it just has yet to connect. Against Valley, I saw one before halftime. But other than that, I just, in my personal opinion, I don't never really talk about the players here. I talk about the coaches. But Cameron McCoy does not seem to be the guy unless he proves me wrong. But I think I've seen enough of a sample size against the teams that we've seen. And so far, I think Southern has seen 2 championship caliber teams on the FCS level. That's North Carolina Central. That's Alabama State. Both of those teams right now are my top 5 HBCU FCS ranking. Southern's nowhere near it. And I think when you see the scores, you understand that if it wasn't for the 2 big broken plays against North Carolina Central, we get nothing there, but we got them. And the 1 touchdown for 2 straight weeks, 14 points. Didn't matter if it was against an FCS team or an FBS team. The results was the same with the offense. Southern's going to have to come on with it. Now, my overall Black College top 5 FCS, and as you see, if you're watching on our YouTube channel, you saw it, but if you're listening on the radio, I got North Carolina Central number 5. I got Alabama A&M number 4. I got Alabama State number 3. I got South Carolina State number 2, and I have Jackson State number 1. Now, coming out of the MEAC, I like programs. I don't like teams. And what I see out of the MEAC and Chennis Berry at South Carolina State and Trey Oliver at North Carolina Central, I see programs sustaining success. And in year 2 with Chennis Berry, I see that. Sam Shade at Alabama A&M has them in a position of winning on the right side of things for the first time in a while since Connell Maynard has since departed. They've beaten Alcorn State for the first time in a long time, and they beat Tennessee State. And if you go and look at the film and watch Cornelius Brown, he is a good quarterback. I tell you, in this league, if you can find a quarterback, and right now, Andrew Body and Cornelius Brown are 2 guys from the quarterback position that I think you have to keep an eye on, which is why I have both those teams in my top 5. Ryan Stubblefield playing over at South Carolina State is another guy. And, of course, Jacobian Morgan at Jackson State. But he has the weapons, and when your team play all 3 phases of the game, Jacobian does not have to take the game in his hands like we've seen the rest of these guys. But Black College football is heating up. We are week 4. It is a bye week. Next week, we're going to have the big game here in Baton Rouge, and we'll talk more about all that next week. But as I get ready to come to the top of the hour and we take a break on the other side of the show, we're going to be joined by Corporal Baldwin from the Southern University Police Department. For all of you guys that are going to be in Baton Rouge next week, he's going to give you the do's and the don'ts when you come on campus so you don't have to deal with law enforcement. And if you think you're going to come on campus with that silly stuff, law enforcement will be there to deal with you. Then, as well as Rodney Kirshner is going to join us here on the show, he's going to talk to you about the parking, the tickets, the bag policy, everything that you need to know. So when you get here, you won't say, I did not know. That way you can be informed on what's going on. And then further in the show, we're going to have Dr. Kendrick Taylor, who is the director of bands at Southern University, going to talk to you about the Boombox Classic Battle of the Bands on next Friday. It's going to be at A.W. Mumford Stadium. So You guys stay tuned. We got to get ready to take a break. When we come back on the other side, we're going to continue more of the Jaguar Journal. So see you guys in a minute.
Southern University marching band. From Jaguar Land, the Southern University marching band is led by drum major DeMarcus. The showstoppers, Hill, from New Iberia, Louisiana. Show him some love. Ladies and gentlemen, today we unite as one band, one sound, and one heart for a purpose beyond entertainment. This performance is dedicated to SU band member Caleb Wilson, who was lost in the recent tragedy. Join us with the Wilson family because they're here tonight. Caleb Wilson, this one is for you. Survive the glory. Director Now, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the 2025-2026 edition of the Family
you guys with us. As we're at the top of the hour, we got to get ready to talk about next week, Southern University versus Jackson State. As we know, there are going to be a ton of people on campus, both fans, family, friends, visitors, and all of those things. And when you have that many people on campus, rules come with it. And nobody better than talk about the rules than we get Southern University Police to be able to come on and talk to us. And talking to us today, my man, Corporal Baldwin with Southern University Police. Good morning, Corporal.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing good, man. How about yourself?
Man, I'm fired up and I'm excited. So I'm doing great and I'm feeling blessed.
Let's talk about this now. With all of these people that'll be on campus next week at Southern, we know the tailgates, but there are rules that are in place for people to protect and make sure safety is in place for the fans and supporters, man. Talk to us about some of the rules that's in place that you guys and local law enforcement will be enforcing on next week.
Yes, absolutely. So safety is our number one priority for game day. So I'm just going to go over a few rules with you guys for our safety protocols. So for one, Southern University is a firearm-free zone. So there is no open carrying or concealed carrying weapons that would be allowed on campus. You would not be allowed to have any ATVs or livestock animals such as horses. Golf carts are permitted, but they must be driven by a licensed driver at all times. Propane tanks are not allowed anywhere on campus. And also, there is a clear badge policy that has been implemented for all home games. So you will not be able to gain access into the stadium if you are carrying anything other than a clear badge.
Let's talk about the importance of letting people know with the ATVs and the many other things, because you get a lot of young people who ultimately get into accidents, cause accidents all throughout, wherever the case, not just Southern University's campus, but anywhere. Talk about that and the importance why people need to make sure that they have that safety and follow the rules when it comes to those vehicles, motorized vehicles that are not permitted.
Yes, absolutely. So I know normally we have a lot of young people who enjoy riding ATVs. And sometimes with game day going on and other influences that may be involved, sometimes we may be a little reckless or not as attentive as we should be. So we want to make sure and ensure that with that type of vehicle and with the large number of fans that we have coming on campus, we would like to ensure that everyone is safe at all times and that we will be able to utilize the entire campus for fans to walk, gather, and just enjoy themselves at all times without having to worry about ATVs, horses, or vehicles driving in areas where our fans would typically and normally gather.
Now, we know with this type of crowd, you're going to have those who going to be like, well, I didn't know, I had no clue. What are the penalties if this does occur and you do get caught on Southern's campus with any of these prohibited things?
So, respectfully, an officer or a staff member from athletics will approach the individual who's operating the vehicle and politely ask them to remove that ATV from the campus premises. So, if you have a designated tailgating spot or whatever, you won't be allowed to park it in that area. That ATV has to be removed off the campus of Southern University. So, whatever arrangements they may have to make, they will have to go ahead and make those so we can ensure the safety of our fans that's on campus for that specific game day. So pretty much we just want to make the interaction as smooth as possible so everyone can enjoy the game day for what it is.
Now, we know with such an influx of people, the traffic flow, you guys with local law enforcement, what will the traffic flow being going into the game and as well as after the game for people to have a better understanding on how to get on campus and off of campus?
Yes, so we encourage all fans to arrive early as possible to get the best available parking. We're expecting a large crowd of supporters, so early arrival will make your experience so much more smooth. There are 3 main entrances to access game day on to access campus on game day, you have Harding Boulevard, also known as the Hump, that you may access. You have Swan Avenue, and you have B.A. Little and Mills Avenue, which is located near the back gate, or with most locals are familiar with the Blue Store. So with those three entrances and exits in mind, you will be able to utilize those areas. Our students, our on-campus students, will be able to access campus and exit campus by utilizing Avenue K at Mills Avenue. And only our on-campus residents will be able to utilize that location. So again, we encourage everyone to arrive as smooth as possible to make sure that they get the best parking availability as possible.
Now, after the game, what is it going to be exiting the campus in terms of traffic? What is that flow going to be like to help facilitate this much traffic coming off from Southern's campus?
Again, the same way you enter campus, you will be allowed to use that same entry for your exit. You may be able to use, you'll be able to use Harding Boulevard, you'll be able to use Swan Avenue, and you'll be able to utilize Swan Avenue as well. So with those main roads in mind, we will have an officer posted in those areas to help assist with traffic. We'll have officers on Scenic Highway to also assist. And more importantly, we just want to make sure that all of our travelers and fans get home safely.
Now, I got to ask this because I know with this game, I've been getting phone calls of people who did not attend Southern nor Jackson State, but they're going to be coming down. And what I've noticed is when I go out of town to other places, the laws are different when it comes to open containers, when it comes to alcoholic beverages and those types of things. What is prohibited and not prohibited on Southern's campus on game day as it pertains to alcoholic beverages, and how do you walk around with it and present it?
Yes, so on game day, we still operate as normal. You won't be allowed to have an open container. Anything that you have concealed is your business, but anything that specifically stands out and sticks out as an alcoholic beverage is not permitted on campus. Same in the stadium. Well, we do have certain areas. I know some suites may have, alcohol dispensary, but for the most part, you won't be able to open carry on campus. And also, campus is a drug-free zone, so you cannot bring any sorts of drugs or narcotics on the campus of Southern University.
And for people I'm putting this out there because we're going to run this all week just to make sure for anybody who may see something, and what is a number that they can dial aside from 911 if it's something they want to report, maybe to local law enforcement, to campus police, anything that they want to report if they're seeing something happening beforehand and want to make sure that they get on top of it, man. Well, give us some information that they can be able to contact.
Yes, so you can always contact 911, and what's going to happen is they're going to redirect the calls to our dispatch. But if you want a quicker response, definitely contact our police department, Southern University Police Department, and you can contact us at 225-771-2770. In addition to that, if you don't already have it, make sure you download the Jaguar Safe app. It's accessible through Google and the App Store. Anybody can utilize it. Anybody can download it. And through that specific app, there is many resources that you can utilize. For example, if you do see a crime or if you do see something suspicious, you can report it and send it. And you can report it anonymously, or you can provide your information to that. And our dispatchers will immediately get notified of it and will send officers to that area to check out what's going on. And also, too, within the app, there are different resources to basically inform you on what to do when certain circumstances occur. If there's an active shooter situation, what to do. If there's a active armed robbery, what to do, and so on, to just basically give public awareness. Also, too, recently we've revitalized our local pull stations, emergency pull stations on campus. So with a push of a button, it will alert our dispatch of an emergency need, an officer will be sent to that area. And also attached to the emergency pull station is a surveillance camera. So our dispatchers will be able to have a live video read of what's going on in that area. So we have more than one way to skin the cat, if you will. So just make sure you utilize one of those three tactics if there is an emergency response needed. And also, too, there will be an influx of officers all throughout the campus. So if you see an officer, don't be afraid to approach them and inform them of what's going on, because we want to, again, make sure that everyone is safe and go home safely, and also just have a fabulous and fantastic game day experience.
You say more than one way to skin a cat. More than one way to skin a tiger. How about that? Because that's what's going to be happening. But I want to make sure, because, we always hear from Jackson State fans, oh, when we go to Baton Rouge, it's X, Y, Z. We want to make sure we put the information out there that law enforcement will be out and about, and they will be on their job. So I don't want to hear nothing from them Jackson State people saying, oh, when we go to Baton Rouge, we always got to deal with this and this and that. No, you don't. You just make that up. I got law enforcement, my man Corporate Baldwin, letting you know right now, they will be out in full force, making sure that the safety of the fans and everybody else is our first priority here at Southern University. So thank you, Corporate Baldwin, man, for coming on and talking with us and making sure that the people get the information that they need so they can feel safe. And then in any event, if anything happens, that we know you guys will be right there ready to respond with local law enforcement to handle the situation.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you for having me.
Man, thank you, man. That's Corporal Baldwin from Southern University Police. He's letting you know what all is going to be taking place on next week. You better come on your best behavior, Jackson State. We don't want none of them problems down here in Baton Rouge, all right? Let's get ready to take a break, everybody. When we come back on the other side, we'll continue more of the Jaguar Journal, all right?
Quincy Richard is the quarterback. And, Don, this is a man who's really changed his game from last season, and he's a graduate student as well.
Yes, he has, Bob. Quincy Richard has matured into the unquestioned leader of this Southern University offensive attack. 10 wins this season, and he set school marks for passing yards and touchdown passes. And Bobby's had a lot of help. Only 5 sacks on the season.
He earned his undergraduate degree back in August. He's taking some master's classes, and he wants to be a lawyer.
Here's Richard looking in the end zone. Has a man there. Touchdown, Southern University.
Play clock down to 3. Richard gets it off over the middle. Touchdown!
Holmes goes in motion and comes set on a 1st and 10. Richard completes it. That's Ard. Ard down the sideline. He could go. And finally pushed out of bounds. Richard's run for 10 touchdowns this season. He's going to keep it. Richard goes in. Make it 11 for Quincy Richard. Richard wide open. Touchdown, Chris Davis. Oh, does he love playing football even more now?
That in the flag against Grambling, holding on the kickoff.
Richard looking deep, and it's a touchdown.
But only 3 times did he go down. Twice he ran out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. It goes down as a sack.
2nd and 8. The deep ball, and that's our man, Chris Davis, for the touchdown. Time for today's State Farm Players of the Game. And from Southern University, the quarterback, number 15, Quincy Richard, 34 of 42, 552 yards, 5 touchdown passes.
Quincy, on behalf of State Farm Insurance Companies, I want to present you with a trophy for the most outstanding player today. Congratulations.
All right, everybody, we're back. More of the Jaguar Journal. Good morning. Glad to have you guys with us. Of course, I'm Perry White. Good morning to everybody out there listening on Talk 107.3 FM across the Baton Rouge capital city area, and everybody watching on our YouTube and Facebook Live across the world. Glad to have you guys with us. Guess what? Next week is Southern University versus Jackson State. Want to thank Corporal Baldwin from the Southern University Police Department to come on and talk to us about the safety aspect and what you can expect in terms of safety from local law enforcement as well as campus law enforcement. But as we continue to get things going, we want to welcome here on the show this morning Deputy Athletic Director at Southern University, Rodney Kirshner. Good morning, Rodney.
Hey, good morning. Appreciate you having me on.
You know, we already talked about safety and everything else. Now let's talk about procedure and how things are going to go. 2 weeks ago, we had Athletic Director Roman Banks talk to us in terms of just the flow of what was accepted and not accepted. This time, give us an update because we're going to have listeners from Jackson State, from Southern, and people from all across that are going to be coming onto campus for this big game next week, man. Give us information, and let's start with parking. What's acceptable with parking? Are we taking cash? Is it cashless? And where will parking be accepted at around campus?
Yes. So, no, we're excited to have a big game at home, and we are expecting a large crowd. So as always, we ask all our fans to arrive early to try to avoid any type of traffic situations that can cause with large crowds. But we ask all our fans that are new to our campus, general admission parking. We ask them to enter the best way, easiest way for them to get to where they need to go to. The quickest route is through Mills Avenue, which is back by the Blue Store. Is the easiest route for general admission. And then once they go to that first checkpoint, they'll take payment for general admission. And payment is, they have the option to do cash. And then this time we are set up now that they'll be cashless as well. So they'll be able to scan a QR code and pay right there on the spot with their credit card if they choose to. If they come over the hump, which is our main entrance into campus over the bridge, by the baseball stadium, they'll stay in the left lane, and they'll go down to the guard checkpoint, and they'll get them in right there, same way with cashless and cash opportunities to get them to their parking spots.
Now, I know because construction is happening on campus, Athletic Director Roman Banks said some parking will be limited, so people should be advised to that as well, correct?
Correct. So, yeah, with the ongoing construction, we are limited in spots, and then we're finding new areas as long as it's not raining where we're trying to park our fans.
Let's look at tickets now. Once you get settled, you get parking. What about tickets? What's ticket information for this game coming into next week in terms of online, in person? What's acceptable when you get to the stadium? What's not? How is that going to work for fans so they won't run into any issues?
Yes. So, all our home events, we always have a clear bag policy that's in effect. So we always advise our fans to make sure they know that right off top before they even get to the stadium. And then we always ask our fans who have tickets to please download your tickets before you even get on the campus. It just helps with the process of getting in the stadium a little bit faster. So we advise all our fans, please download your tickets before you come. But speaking of getting tickets, if our fans don't want to come and visit the ticket office inside the FG Clark Activity Center throughout the week, they can go online to our website, www.gojagsports.com, and at the ticket tab at the top, they can click there, and it'll give them a link to Ticketmaster, and then they can go and purchase the games right there that they would like to through the Ticketmaster link. If they do want to visit the box office, they're open this week from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and that's inside the FG Clark Activity Center. They'll be open on game day starting at 12 o'clock in the FG Clark Activity Center, and then they will close down at 2 o'clock and move over to the stadium for 3 o'clock, and they'll open it back up right at 3:30 at Mumford Stadium on the northeast corner, which is right by where the block party is by the field house.
Now, let me ask you this, because we've had people in the past have confusion of where you can get tickets from online. What's acceptable with you guys? Is it Ticketmaster and that's it? Well, where tickets can be purchased online so people won't be scammed or frauded out of tickets?
That's a great question. So Ticketmaster is the official ticket provider for Southern University Athletics. So we advise all our fans. We know that, the StubHub's popular, Geek Seat, some of those other third-party companies, but our official tickets are all Ticketmaster. So we encourage all our fans, please go to either our box office online through the Ticketmaster portal, or please just go to Ticketmaster.com itself, because those are the official tickets that are accepted.
Now, once you get around campus, we're looking at the possibility of having to deal with the stadium itself. And when I say the stadium itself, if I want to go to concession, if I want to do these things, is the stadium cashless, or can you still use cash? How does that work? Because you get a lot of people who don't come to the games normally who are going to probably run into some issues. How do we then alleviate that to make sure that they are well informed on what they can use and not use once they get to A.W. Mumford Stadium?
No, absolutely. That's another great question. So we encourage our fans to arrive to campus early, it's the same as we encourage our fans to arrive into the game early. All our gates will open up 2.5 hours prior to kickoff. So for Jackson State, our gates will open up at 3:30 p.m. The concession stands will be open at that time as well. All concession stands do take both forms of payment, so they take cash and they take card. And then our vendors around inside the stadium, same as well. They'll take cash and card. So if you don't want to bring cash or worry about cash, our vendors do accept all forms of credit card.
And you guys are now partnering with the sale companies to boost sales service on campus for a big game like this, correct?
Yes. So we partnered up with AT&T, and our IT department's done a great job on campus. So we have what's called a cow tower that sits out there right outside Lot B, right across from Southern Lab. So we do have a new cell tower in there. But again, like we tell all our fans, make sure you arrive early. Please download your tickets. Please have your plan of action. Trying to meet up with the tailgate or know where you're going, just in case that cell service does get jammed.
And let me ask you this, in terms of the tailgate RV spots, you get the people who last minute say, hey, you know what, it's the week of, let's get ready to go down to Baton Rouge, let's hang out. Information for people who want to tailgate for spaces, spots, as well as potential RVs coming onto campus, because this game right here, you will get people at the last minute say, well, let's go down and watch Southern and Jackson down in Baton Rouge. Yeah, so again, we're expecting a great game on the gridiron, but we want all our fans to have a safe and enjoyable tailgating pregame experience. So we do have game day RV sales for people who just want to pull up on campus. We ask them to enter through Swan Avenue, and they'll be right there. They'll be guided to where to go. If people would like to buy tailgating spots, we do have tailgating spots available. We just ask them to go visit our ticket office or call our ticket office at 225-771-3171, and Miss Aretha and them can guide them on how to purchase the spots and everything they would like. And the only thing we ask our fans that are coming onto campus, maybe new or returning, that we're just really trying to avoid as much as we can, is that golf carts are allowed, but we do not allow side-by-sides or ATVs or any type of recreational vehicles. And all vehicles must be driven by a licensed driver. Something we're just trying to make sure that we can keep a safe environment, because our crowds can get big and it's kind of hard to move around with golf carts. But we just ask that all golf carts are driven by a licensed driver. And Jackson State flags are prohibited, correct? I want to make sure that we make sure in Jaguar land the Jackson State flags are prohibited. Leave those on the other side of the tracks, right? That's right. But we welcome everybody, and we're excited to have a great crowd. And like I said, and as
as you heard earlier, we're trying to make sure campus is as safe as possible.
Let me ask you this in terms of tickets right now. What are we looking like? Is this thing look like this is going to be the typical Southern Jackson game that we get in Baton Rouge with a packed-out A.W. Mumford Stadium?
Yes. It looks like it. The way the trajectory last update I got, everything is kind of on the up and up. So it looks like we're headed towards a packed stadium, which is great for us. And then we also Friday night we also have the Battle of the Bands. So we're excited to host that Friday night inside the stadium, where you can hear the sonic boom and the human jukebox go toe to toe. So a nice event Friday night. But yes, it looks like we're heading towards a great environment.
Let me ask you for even then parking for that Friday night. Let me know if is there anything specific fans need to know for parking on Friday night?
Yes. So Friday night parking will be on a first come first served basis. But Lot B, which is the big parking lot right next to Jaguar Park where the band practices, the commuter lot, that lot is going to be available for parking because our fans will enter on the east side of the stadium, which is across from the press box. That's where our fans will enter for the Battle of the Bands. Then we'll have parking over there on the Mini Dome side. Towards the baseball stadium, away from the Mini Dome RVs. They can park there, and then the third parking lot would be Southern Labs.
Well, Rodney, man, I appreciate you coming on. Let me ask you, how much will parking be charged on Friday night?
No. Parking won't be charged on Friday night.
Gotcha.
We just ask fans to make sure they come. They take care of their areas if they tailgate and all that before the show, and then we just ask them to make sure that they move in a timely manner, before parking and everything opens up at 6 a.m. on Saturday.
Rodney, man, I appreciate you, man. I know you guys are going to have a busy week as you guys prepare for the big game with Southern and Jackson State. I tell people all the time, it is a homecoming atmosphere in Baton Rouge anytime these two teams link up in Baton Rouge, and it takes a lot of proper planning to make sure to ensure the safety and that the just overall procedures and protocols are followed when this game happens, because it is an influx. I had some people call me, Rodney, and said they was coming down. I said, okay, well, what time y'all trying to come to the game? You know what time they told me, Rodney? They said they was trying to get to the game at 5 o'clock. I said, no, you can miss me with that. 5 o'clock is over with. You late already. Good luck.
Yes.
So
yeah, you're absolutely right. And like I said, again, we're expecting a large crowd. We're expecting a large drive-up crowd. So, again, we ask fans to arrive early. Our contraflow does start, especially on big games for us. It can start as early as 3 hours before kickoff, which is 3 o'clock. Sometimes it can start earlier. So that hump can easily back up, especially with us trying to get Jackson State band, football team, and everybody in. So we advise fans, try to arrive early.
Rodney, man, thank you for coming on, everybody. That's the voice of Rodney Kirshner, the Deputy Athletic Director at Southern University. Rodney, appreciate you, and good luck this week as you guys and the team get everything together, man, for this big game next weekend.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
All right, everybody, let's get ready to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue more of the Jaguar Journal. You guys stay tuned.
It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White, and what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
T.R. Ricks is a fifth-year senior who's getting his first chance to drive the train that Bob talked about. And right now, he's driving it quite well because the Southern Jaguars are kicking butt in the SWAC conference. As Bob mentioned, 6-0 overall in the SWAC, and T.R. Ricks has played so well, over 2,000 yards passing. In the last 3 games running the football, he's been over 100 yards on the ground. The respect factor that he gets from his teammates is incredible. As a fifth-year senior who's never started, they elected him captain. And the numbers he has put up are represented on your screen. 27 total touchdowns on the offense, a pass percentage of nearly 60%. He could be the SWAC Player of the Year on the offensive side.
Best, and they're going to get a huge dose of the best offensive player in the SWAC, and that being Thomas Ricks.
Yeah, what Thomas Ricks has found a way to do is just beat defenses either with his arm, with his feet, or with his leadership capabilities, finding a way to win the games late with 4th fourth-quarter comebacks. He showed versatility and athleticism. He's a tremendous athlete that knows how to win, most importantly.
Really is a leader both on and off the field.
I just think it has come to a maturity level. I have a 4-year-old son, and, when he was born, I had to grow up fast and, just staying in school and practicing every day, trying to get better every day, just so he can have a better future. It's just been my inspiration. So, I just think that's my motor that drives me and, keeps me in the game.
His 4-year-old son, Collier, has not missed a game this season. They throw the football around in Rick's dorm room at Southern, and he says it's great playing football with Collier. 1st and 10. Ricks. It's got Vernon. Vernon makes the catch at the 45.
They can run the entire offense with all those guys in the game.
Ricks to Vernon. 1st down. Holmes in the backfield. Ricks. 1st down. Gage on the tackle, but not until Ricks picks up the 1st down. 2nd and 7. Ricks. Overstreet's got it. Across midfield. Ricks. As a receiver downfield. It's caught for a touchdown. Territory. Ricks. Fakes the pitch. Gets inside the 15.
He's in the type of young men that represent his philosophy in life and in football.
Ricks in a shotgun. He's going to run it out to the 10. And 2nd and 11 after the holding penalty.
All right, everybody. Good morning. It is the Jaguar Journal. We're still rocking and rolling, man. I am Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us. Good morning to everybody listening on Talk 107.3 FM. Good morning to you across the Baton Rouge capital area and everybody watching across our YouTube and Facebook across the world. We are glad to have you this morning. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media, on X, on Instagram, on Facebook. Hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel and keep up with the Jaguar Journal on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify. Want to thank Corporate Baldwin from the Southern University Police Department to talk to us about safety and procedures for game day next week when Southern and Jackson State take on each other here in Baton Rouge, and as well as Rodney Kirshner, who is the Deputy Athletic Director at Southern University, talking to us about parking, ticketing, everything that you need to know about the do's and the don'ts, the clear bag policies and everything to make sure that your experience for game day is as smooth as it can be. So you won't say, hey, I didn't know. We're going to run this all week so you guys can know. And as we continue to keep things going, guess what? It's not just Southern and Jackson on the football field. It's Southern and Jackson's bands in the stands is where we get the nickname, the Boombox Classic. And nobody better to talk to us about than on the box side, the human jukebox, my man, Dr. Kedrick Taylor. Good morning, Dr. Taylor.
Good morning, Perry. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. What's up?
Man, hey, look, I'm enjoying this off week, preparing for next week, but I'm enjoying myself, man. I can't complain.
Good, man. I know you are working hard with the band and getting things together. Let's start and jump right into it, because not only will we have the game itself on Saturday with Southern and Jackson, but we always know this comes down to what people have deemed the two best bands in the land, Southern University Human Jukebox and Jackson State's Sonic Boom. And you guys have announced that it's going to be a Boombox Classic Battle of the Bands Friday night, the night before the game. Break it down, Dr. Taylor. Give us all the information for the people out there who this is my first time hearing about it. I didn't know that. So now that they know what to do to be a part of this as they come watch these bad bands get down with it against each other.
Well, I will say that this is one of those events where you don't want to miss it live. You know, a lot of people like to watch stuff on internet and YouTube and the different social media platforms, but that don't do it no justice being there live. It's like hearing that band live is nothing like it. You know, you can't feel all the sound that's coming out them horns. Like, it's like you can't feel it. I want to be able to feel it. You know, it's just like going to a good church and the music hitting right and all the message hitting right. That's just what that band feel like when you there live. So I definitely would tell everyone who may not have known about it to make sure you get the tickets, and the people that do know about it that was saying that was on the fence, you definitely need to come, because these two bands are known to put on a show. And you definitely want to come and watch the world-renowned, internationally famed Southern University Human Jukebox put on a show.
Often imitated, but never, ever duplicated. Let everybody know where they can get the tickets at, with the ticket information, how much the tickets are, what all goes into this, man, because, this is one of those things where I start to get the calls and they asking me, and I'm like, nope, don't ask me, wrong person. So I've got Dr. Taylor. Where do they go get the tickets? How much are the tickets? What all do they need to do to be a part of this event?
So you can go and get the tickets from our box office here on campus, or you can go to Ticketmaster Online, SU Ticketmaster Online, where you can get tickets as well. The same way you get tickets for games, the Battle of the Band is on there as well. So we have VIP seating as well as general admission. It's $30 for a ticket. All the proceeds go to both bands. We talk about supporting our students and supporting HBCUs. Well, this is an opportunity for you all to support, to help get scholarship dollars for our students. We're just being proactive, all while having fun. Going out getting resources for our bands. We have different sponsors that'll be present. So it'll be definitely amazing to have a packed house, and knowing that the money go directly to the band. There's no promoter. It's strictly Southern University and Jackson State. The proceeds goes directly to the bands.
You guys have been busy this football season, starting with Atlanta, then going to Itabena, then coming home to Baton Rouge, and this past weekend going out to Fresno, man. Let's talk about that Fresno trip, because it seems that everybody in California wanted to see Southern University's marching band. For you guys, what was that experience like to take the brand and then showcase that brand on the stage for many people who watch it on YouTube and realize, man, there's a difference from YouTube to in person?
It's nothing shorter than amazing. I listen to this band all the time. Hearing this band every day in the band room is a total different feeling. But hearing it for the first time live, it's like seeing your favorite artist that you never saw live and they actually put on a show. I don't know how many people go to live concerts, but when you see Fantasia on YouTube versus seeing Fantasia live, I mean, it's nothing like it. And that's what those people were expecting. They were expecting to see what this was like live, and they saw that what it is in person is nothing like what it is on the internet. And we always say that. And the reason I say the way it is on the internet, because a lot of people like to judge the band off the internet and not realizing that it's only so much that those mics can handle. You're not going to get all of the sound. You're not going to get all of the colors that's coming out of those instruments, and it's not blending the way that it would in person than it would in live. So that's why I'm saying, hearing it live is totally different. It just gives you a idea on the internet, but the idea don't match what it sounds like in person. And those people were really amazed, and they couldn't do nothing but scream, because even their band was screaming. Like, they band saw us, and they was like, normally bands don't compliment the other band, but they were like really excited, compliment the band, playing different songs. And you know how the jukebox is. You play different songs from all different genres of music. So we played stuff like Party in the USA. We played Let's Get It Started. We were playing different things that they can relate to, as well as our fans can relate to as well. And they enjoyed it. So we just took them on a musical adventure and introduced them live to the Human Jukebox.
I'm glad you did, because I heard in the interview now, this is me speaking, I thought they band director said something that I thought was a little shady, talking about they focus more on the musical aspect of things. Like, what do you think the number one band in the nation does? They don't focus on the musical aspect of things. Of course, Southern University Marching Band does it. And this is the thing I got to ask you, and I want to say this publicly, because I see, when I look on the internet, man, I see everybody. It just seems like everybody's a band director these days. Everybody should be judging the Battle of the Band somewhere, because their musical talent and how they judge music is just superb. It's top tier. So now that they listening to Southern, everybody just have something to say. And one of the things that I say with it, it seems like for me, Dr. Taylor, for once across the band world, everybody is trying so hard to be Southern. Now that everybody is trying to be Southern with its sound, with its arrangements, and now it seems like you guys are doing something different. Southern is still Southern, but you guys are doing it in your own unique way, you and your staff. Now it seems people have a problem because now that everybody else wants to be Southern, you guys are trendsetting and now taking it in a different direction. And the people, it's like they want you to stay the same while it seems like everybody else is trying to catch up.
Well, the funny thing about that is, I always use this analogy. People always say they want to keep the band the same and all of that, but every era of the band was different. Every era had their own sound. The baritones didn't start dominating me until like late '90s. Before that, the baritones weren't dominating like that. And in 2000s, that's when everybody started playing, extending the range. So before that, they wasn't playing like that. So it's funny when people say that, because if you know the history of Southern band, Dr. Greggs would not allow for the band to overplay or blast like people think that they want to hear. So when you talk about what's good and what's bad, everybody has an opinion, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got people that don't understand music at a high level, and they'd rather treat a professional institution of higher learning band like it's a rec band. Like it's you know how they have the AAU teams, nothing against AAU, but it's nothing like organized basketball or football.
Yeah, they think it's summer band or something.
That's I didn't want to say it, but that's exactly what they think
got
it is. It's not summer band. It's you teaching students to be music educators, and that's what's the problem now. You know why it's so hard to find really, really good high school programs, because they're trying to be like Southern, and they don't realize Southern is a fantasy band, and there's never going to be another copy of Southern band. It's a lot of imitation. If you notice before, maybe the early 2000s, man, people still had their own style. Not everybody want to sound like Southern. I'll say that. Now that they want to sound like Southern, and the people that's playing it is like, Southern has always been a outstanding musical band, meaning we played the notes off the paper, no matter what we played. And the band's still that way today. It's just that we are held to a higher standard than everybody else. You know, everybody else can come in here and play whole notes, half notes. If they can kind of recognize the song, they better than Southern, because they came in here and played a song that, you know, it's funny to us, though, because true thine own shall be true. And then when you talk to people, it's like, yeah, man, you know, we just hold y'all to a higher standard. We know y'all was better than that band, but we just hold y'all to a higher standard. Okay, so Cadillac make the same car they've been making, but they add little bells and whistles, right? Kia all of a sudden look like Cadillac.
Yeah.
So just because Kia look like Cadillac, that don't mean it's still a Cadillac. So that's what everybody is doing now. Everybody is stealing what we've done over the years, and they can say they haven't stolen it, but if you go just look at tape and film will show you that these band sounds have changed. And, you know, it's funny to us because we add more and more to what we do. We ain't changing it. We just not staying the same. Like, don't nobody want to continue to hear the same stuff, but the people that asking for us to still play the same stuff. We want to continue to keep your tradition, all while adding to the tradition by adding new things. Tradition ain't nothing but somebody that's old started. You know how cats like to come back and say, yeah, man, I started that. Yeah, guess what? We starting something else now. You know, you don't want to stay the same. You want the stuff to continue to be fresh. You want it to be innovative and creative, all while keeping your tradition. So we continue to, you know, have a balance of keeping the tradition, all while adding more creative things. And it ain't going to always be appealing to everybody.
Right. And you can't be the same when everybody else is trying to do the same of what you're doing now. And I'm going to say this has nothing to do with you, but this is for the people out there. And I'm saying this loud and clear. Y'all got to let that Nathan Hamer and Brian Simmons hurt go. All right. It's the past. It's the past. This is a new regime. This is new direct. You got to let it go. Okay. It ain't coming back. It ain't what it's going to be. It's what it is. And it's Dr. Taylor's band, and what Dr. Taylor has for this band is what he has for it, man. And I just see so many people out there that just constantly say X, Y, and Z. And it's like, no matter how many times you say it, Alabama want Nick Saban back. Guess what? It ain't going to happen. You got to just move on with who's there and accept it, and then just go with the flow. And that's what I'm saying right now. So when it comes to you guys, you know, what is it with the style and the sound that you're going for with this band under your leadership?
Well, I think people forget that I was on that staff. I was definitely arranging me and Mr. Simmons. And one of the things that I don't never say, but the head band director is not the one that writes the most of the music. It's the assistants. And at the time, I was associate director, and Mr. Simmons was assistant director. And when Mr. Jackson was the director, Mr. Heyman was the one arranging most of the music, along with Mr. Cornell Knighton until he, was no longer on staff. So a lot of times when people talk, they just talking out the side of their neck. And what's the LSU part of it? But anyway, but a lot of them talk and they don't know what they even talking about. So I don't pay no attention, man. People who know the real, they know, So a lot of those people just think they know what they want, but they really don't know. And so they just ride the wave when the band don't do something they want them to do. But Mr. Todd, Mr. Collins, Mr. Young, those guys do a great job of adapting. Southern Band has played pretty much every hit that it is from the past. So it's like music is more scarce these days. There's not a lot of songs that you can just play that everybody in the audience is going to know. Besides when Michael Jackson was around, you had Prince, you had Beyonce that was really making music with Destiny's Child. You had your Faith Evans, all these different artists that was on the radio that everybody listened to. It was easier to say, man, the band playing nothing but hits. But nowadays, it's like it could be a TikTok hit, but everybody ain't on TikTok.
And that TikTok hit is 10 years, 15 years old. Just rebirth.
It just resurfaced. Because I thought, again, and the guys just want to continue to keep the parts of the band that really make you separate you from everybody else, and that's the professionalism side. Man, we are music educators on top of anything. This is an institution of higher learning. I'm gonna keep saying that. You never want anybody to think that your band is just a band that can't play music, right? Mm-hmm. You want to be able to be diverse. So therefore, that's why you continue to go play for the Super Bowl and working with Beyonce music director. You continue to get events like that because they want musicians, man. They don't want just somebody playing loud in the horn and don't know how to play. And that's why all those armchair coaches and band directors are at home doing the same thing, making comments. Everybody who really know music, they're not on the internet talking. They are got better things to do. And you need to have a balance with the band program. You want to do you want to have a diverse book. You don't want to do the same stuff and play the same way. So that's why a lot of people probably don't like what go on, or, everybody has their opinion. Long as our fans in the stands are pleased, I think that's all that matters. There's different audiences that watch the band, and, we try to keep it balanced with everybody, but you can't please everybody, so I don't even try. I just do what's right and make sure that the students are having a good time. As long as the students enjoying what they're doing, that's all it's about. And, most of these bands, we all talk. There's nobody that's out here. They think we putting on boxing gloves just because we having fun at the event. But, this is all for the students, and they having a great time because we've had our time. We had a very dominant band. The band is still dominant because if it wasn't dominant, people wouldn't be talking about it.
There you go.
Either your favorite band or we your band that everybody talk about. So I just look at it like that. The more we work, the more people going to talk. So that lets you know you're doing the right thing. If they was quiet and everybody was agreeing with you and you the man, then you know something wrong. That means you're doing something wrong. So when they talking, that lets you know you're doing something right. So I want them to keep talking. So that continue to elevate us and not keep us in the same box. So man, I'm appreciating it, whatever they saying, because I don't go looking, but I hear people saying things, and I appreciate the comments and the feedback. We definitely like continuing to innovate and create what's new and what's hot and the latest and greatest that's out. So that's why you need to come and get a ticket so you can see live, because a lot of y'all talking crazy and they ain't even at the event. Buy a ticket and support the university, man. Buy a game ticket and buy a dollar band ticket. Come root on the Jaguars, man, and come root the Human Jukebox on and watch in the stands. And now you'll be able to, make your critiques from there. But watching on YouTube, you ain't helping nobody. You just part of the problem.
You know what, Dr. Taylor? They say they hate us because they ain't us, and we let our haters be our motivators. One more time for the people for the Battle of the Bands. Give the information before I get ready to let you go for the information so we can make sure as many people listen to you today and get those tickets.
Man, you can go get your tickets at the ticket office on the campus, and you can also go to Ticketmaster for SU ticket office so you can go and buy it. We have VIP tickets, and we also have general admission tickets. You definitely want to get your tickets, guys. They selling. We excited. I talked to Jackson State Director Dr. Little, and they are excited as well. And they definitely getting prepared, and the jukebox definitely is prepared. So we looking forward to it. You don't want to miss this event. I promise you, you don't want to miss it. It's going to be one to remember.
All right, everybody, if you're just tuning in, that is the voice of Dr. Kedrick Taylor. I want to thank him for coming on, the director of bands at Southern University. Thank you, Dr. Taylor.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
All right, you too, man. All right, everybody, let's take a break. When we come back, we're ready to close things out. Stay tuned more to Jaguar Journal.
All right, peace on you.
All right. Hey, did nothing change in my top 5 this week, everybody. North Carolina Central is number 5. Listen, they're 2-2 on the season, but they got a victory in a big way. What a way to get back on track with North Carolina Central. I think Trey Oliver is doing what he does best. This is not just a football team. It is a football program. And I think he has this football program ready to head in the right direction as they continue to go through non-conference and get to conference play a little bit later next month. Coming in at number 4, let's go Alabama A&M. I had them at number 4 last week. They remain in the spot. You know why? They beat Tennessee State. They are in a position that I haven't seen them be in a long time, and that's the winning position. They're on the winning side of things. And I think Sam Shade, along with his quarterback Cornelius Brown, are looking like a legit contender in the SWAC right now. So I have them at number 4. Let's go Alabama State, number 3, remaining, holding on to that spot. They got past Miles in a convincing fashion. Andrew Body has done everything he needed to do to remain consistent. Eddie Robinson has this team headed in the right direction. This is probably what he wanted last year, but now he has it this year, and you see why adding Andrew Body makes this offense and this team a contender in the SWAC. Let's go number 2, South Carolina State. Kenneth Berry had a shootout against Bethune-Cookman, but nonetheless, they were able to hold on. Once again, the same way like I'm talking about North Carolina Central, Kenneth Berry looks to be building a program at South Carolina State and not just having a team year in and year out. And right now, they're still looking like a team to beat in black college football, and I will give them the number 2 spot. And the number 1 team in all of black college football, still holding on after a convincing win. Goose Egg, Tuskegee this past weekend, Jackson State. I think Ahmad Miller, I think when you look at Jacoby and Morgan, I think when you look at this team as a whole, offense, defense, and special teams, they play the best 3 phases of the game better than anybody right now in the country, in my opinion. And so right now, they're my number 1 team. I think TC Taylor has built something, and it looks sustainable right now. And that's why I have them at number 1. So coming in number 5, North Carolina Central. Number 4, Alabama A&M. Number 3, Alabama State. Number 2, South Carolina State. And number 1, Jackson State.
All righty.
The Southern University marching band is simply America's finest. So sit back, relax, think about this is the most exciting time of your life. The last lady, the house rocker, the rocker, how we get the people to the song. Could you watch around me down to jump out there, sound, and do it tomorrow. From the state, make some noise!
All right, everybody, we're back. It's the Jaguar Journal. Good morning. I'm Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us. Good morning to everybody listening on Talk 107.3 across the Baton Rouge, capital city area, and everybody watching on our YouTube and Facebook. Good to have you this morning. Be sure to follow the Jaguar Journal on X, on Instagram, on Facebook, as well as subscribe to the Jaguar Journal YouTube channel. Also, keep up with the Jaguar Journal on our TikTok, on Apple Podcasts, as well as Spotify. And guess what? We want to continue to grow. We want to thank everybody coming on this morning. My man, Corporal Baldwin of Southern University Police Department. We want to thank Rodney Kirshner, the Deputy Athletic Director at Southern University, and the Marching Band Director, the Southern University marching band, my man Dr. Kedrick Taylor, my man Mike behind the scenes making everything happen. And you guys, I hope you enjoy having a good bye week, and I hope you guys have a safe and productive weekend. Enjoy yourself. And as always, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back next week at the same time in the same place, because always, it's the Jaguar Journal. Have a good week, everybody. What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.